and welcome to Europhoria, where we look back on the great glam and garish of Eurovision past. But this is not a normal episode. No, it is not. This is a mini-phoria, isn't it, Roland?
Well, it may not be mini when we get into the in depth with the songs. No, but it's very exciting as well, isn't it?
We're right now. Today is the 5th of May. And in exactly a week's time, I will be probably already quite hammered watching Eurovision. I can't believe it's come around again.
Oh, my God. It's so quick. So we're going to try and get this episode out as usual with these sort of in-between episodes. We never quite know the schedule, but we're going to try and get it out before the first semi-final so that any songs we're discussing still has some sort of relevance. So it will be soon before the first semi-final, which is just, 4 days away, 5 days away?
Oh, no, I know. I'm trying to plan this week. People keep asking if I want to do stuff, and I'm like, I'm actually really busy this week, I'm afraid. I've got Tuesday and Thursday. It's the Eurovision semi-final, so I can't really do anything.
Although, do I admit in this episode, or shall I say that for the next episode, what I told you at the end of last week, Isobel?
Right, this is something I'm going to make a public statement about now, actually, is that after we recorded the last episode, Roland told me after we'd recorded it, so once we'd stopped recording, that whilst me, you, and by you I mean you, the audience, you, the listeners, the lovely listeners of this podcast, and everyone we know, next Saturday will be watching Eurovision, Roland won't be. It's bad enough he's moved to another bloody country, but what are you doing next Saturday, Roland?
I agree. I'm a +1 to a wedding.
Yeah, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. And the really, really terrible thing is that two of our listeners from the United States of America has given me a genuine invite to watch Eurovision with them, and I would have taken out.
This is why I'm fan favourite. Because you are going to a wedding on the day of Eurovision. I mean, I would genuinely not be friends with someone if they had a wedding on the day of Eurovision. Like, if it just wouldn't happen, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't be there. Like, it's just bad planning.
Oh, I mean, that's fair. Yeah. No, I totally get it, and I understand that I will have gone down in pretty much everyone's eyes for the fact that I am not watching Eurovision live. I have a plan, whether it works or not. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to avoid any spoilers or whatever, but I'm going to download it over the BBC app, and on the way back from the wedding, the morning after, I'm going to watch it in full. It's like a 3-hour train journey, so I think it'll perfectly fit in. So I'm going to try that, and I'm aware that doesn't make up for the fact that I am not watching Eurovision live.
You are the worst.
But Isobel, I'm so excited for your Eurovision. Did I catch through the grapevine that you are doing a lip sync? Is that correct?
That is correct indeed. Next week, for anyone who lives in the London area or outside of which and doesn't want to come to London for the night, myself and I will be co-hosting, as with last year, but without Roland, obviously, a Eurovision screening at the Amersham Arms in New Cross in South London with the wonderful portion of fries. There is going to be drag queens, there's going to be prizes, there's going to be songs, there's going to be lip syncs. Me and Portia are going to be doing a little lip sync together. A little bit of a surprise. I don't want to ruin what it is, but it is Eurovision iconic, and I am going to nail it. I've been practicing a lot. God. So if you do live in the area, you should come down. You can buy tickets on Eventbrite. You just search for nil points and Eventbrite on Google, and the link will come up. They're only like a £5 if you buy them beforehand. It's going to be so much fun. Absolutely come. And it's right by New Cross Gate Station, which now
easy access
overnight underground, isn't there?
So you can get 24-hour access home. You can go
if
home
you live
at
East London like I do, you can get the overground overnight.
Perfect.
Bloody perfect, mate.
Amazing. That's so good. Shall we tell our listeners what we're doing this episode? I just realised we haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah, we're going to review all the songs. And all of them. I've done a couple of interviews over the last couple of weeks as well. So we've got some wonderful guest voices coming in from time to time as well. Basically, me and Roland just going to go through the whole list and just say which are shit, which are great, which ones we'll forget.
Should we do this? I mean, I feel like to get through all of these, we are definitely going to need a drink.
Oh, I'm ready.
In front of me, I have a bottle of gin and a bottle of mezcal. But I'm going to start with the gin and tonic, actually.
Good for you, mate. I've
got ice in a glass.
About to pop a bottle of Cava Rosada from wonderful Catalonia.
Oh my God, that's well fancy. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Just wanted a bit of pink fizz, didn't I?
Yeah, of course. Shall we do the process? Here we go.
Oh my God. Oh.
That's the Hey! Cheers, mate. Happy Eurovision week.
Cheers,
pre-week,
love.
Eve.
Oh,
Happy
so
Eurovision
exciting.
Eve. Oh, that's quite strong. Oh
dear.
Need it to get through some of these songs though. So.
We might well. Okay, great. So let's just go through these in alphabetical order, mate.
Is it alphabetical order? Okay, hold on. Let me rearrange my.
Oh shit.
No, this is fine because I've well organised and I've put it all into a table on a Word document, and that means I can sort by ascending or descending. Haven't I done well?
Oh, he's such a dork.
So let's sort by ascending. There we go. Oh, start with that one then. Interesting. We're not starting strong, are we?
We might have different opinions here.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we are starting with Albania. The song is called Mol, I'm guessing. Mol.
Yeah.
By Eugent Bushpepa. So I'm interested to hear your opinion on this then, Roland.
So, I don't know. I think it depends on when you listen to this song, because I went through all the songs and I think I went through a rough patch of lots of fairly dirge-ish kind of mediocre, middle-of-the-road songs. And the note that I wrote down was, do they really think they can win with this? Question. It's fine as a song. It is a song, but it's not a Eurovision winner, and it's not gonna get in the top half.
I mean, I agree with you on that. I don't think it's gonna win. I think it's a perfectly pleasant melodic rock song. I think I'd have loved it when I was about 14, 13.
Well, yeah, you would have been all about it.
Oh yeah, I am rooting for it to do well because I don't think it's atrocious. But it's not going to win, is it?
No, and we can say I should stop saying that now, because we can say that about the vast majority of the songs. No. It's not going to win, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I've done a starring score system out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I've got out of 5 too.
Okay, I have given this 2 stars.
I've given it 2 stars too.
Oh, okay, that's fine. And just so we know, in the odds, this is placed 39th out of 43. So
okay,
not a favourite there. Then, shall we move on?
Dear. Yeah, let's move on. Armenia. So this is Kamia by Sevak Kanagyan.
Yes.
This is not my bag at all.
No, I would agree with you.
No, I think he sounds quite whiny. I think he just sounds like he's whining, and I also now can't listen to it when he sings the chorus, the song name. It just sounds like he's saying "come here," like a northerner. Come here. Come here.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's super, super soft, and I wrote down emotional acoustic guitar strumming has no place in Eurovision. It's just like it just washes over you like a kind of, I don't know, like a lukewarm weird thing with some seaweed in it. It's not great.
No.
It's placed 28th in the odds as well, so much higher than Albania, but still not up there as a potential winner.
That's why I gave it 1 out of 5.
I gave it 2 out of 5, the same as I gave Albania.
Fair enough.
Not feeling. I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's Armenia. We have to move straight on. We're blasting through these things quick, but there we go. Australia. This is Jessica Moorboy with the song "We Got Love." Isabel, what do you think about "We Got Love"?
So I know I like to shit on Australia. As I've said before, it's mainly just to annoy my friend Nikki, who is Australian.
Yeah.
But this is a bit... Nah. Yeah. Like Jessica is an incredible performer. I've seen, I've seen her perform other songs. They should have sent her with a better song. I feel like they've sent someone who is wonderful, but they should have given her a better song to come with. They're going to do well because they're Australia, and not only are they still, I think, a novelty in the competition 4 years in, but also because I think probably at any one time there's around 15 million Australian backpackers all over the globe who can vote for her from other countries.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's going to do well. It's going to do probably, I think, better than it deserves to do, because it is not a strong song. And when you compare it to some, their previous entries, I mean, again, you can go back to Dami because she is the best of Australia so far, and there's only been 4. But you compare it to Dami Im, Christ, it doesn't. No, not at all.
No. I wrote down it's only okay. I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. Middle of the road. It'll do well, but it's not a great song.
No, I gave it 2 out of 5.
Completely fair. In the odds, and I think sort of agreeing with what you were saying, is despite the quality of the song, it is 10th place in the odds to win, and that makes perfect sense. As you said, lots of Aussie backpackers all over the globe voting for Australia.
They're all in Clapham.
They
all
are
in Clapham.
Anyway, moving on. We are now moving on to Austria. We're still on the A's, still working our way through. This is Cesar Sampson with the song Nobody But You.
I wish Cesar was singing that about me.
Whoa.
He's a hunky hunk.
He's a good-looking guy. He's very good-looking guy.
He's 100% got my hottie of the year for Eurovision this year.
Okay, good. I'm glad that we established that. I haven't written those down, so I'll figure that out along the way. But he's a hunky guy. I wrote down that this sounds like something that the UK would enter. It's kind of a Eurovision song, but it's not quite smart enough or good enough to be a proper Eurovision song. It does have a funky piano riff for about 7 seconds, and then that goes away, and I wish they kind of brought that in for a bit longer. But it's not. I mean, it's very middling. Again, it's not a standout for me.
No, the song isn't, but Caesar's a hottie. And it is, when you think about what they put through last year, that atrocious "'Cause I'm Walking on Air" by Nathan Trent. That was the worst. I hated him. I think they've upped their game this year, so good on you, Austria. You've actually put through a likeable contestant and a likeable song, even if it's not going to win anything. So I gave it 3 out of 5, but that might be just because I'm quite in fancy Caesar.
No, I gave it 3 out of 5 as well, but
then.
I think maybe that I was influenced by his good looks too. It is in its odds. It is in 17th place, so fairly
not bad.
Yeah, not bad, but fairly middle range there.
Which is what we think it is. Azerbaijan is the next one. Do we want to have a little listen to Azerbaijan?
Ooh,
because we've got a little bit of audio to play about the Azerbaijani entry, so maybe we should play a little bit of it.
We become divine. Take my hand, it's time. I cross my heart. I tear down the firewalls. I cross my heart. I'm stronger than cannonballs. I'm never stuck. You never me back to the top.
So that's X My Heart by Isobel.
Yes.
I think it's a pretty basic dance song. It's nothing atrocious, but also nothing new for Eurovision. X My Heart, I think, is a really wanky song title name.
I wrote down, I really like the name of the song.
Oh no!
I mean, I do like the wanky, stupid titles, but I like the name of the song.
Oh no, I'm not a fan. And I just think it's not... I think they've just gone very blur in comparison to last year's. Like last year's, the Azerbaijani entry last year was Skeletons,
really
which
stood
was
out.
so good, good. That
Yeah.
was one of the best songs last year in terms of, just in terms of everything. It was great. So this one, I feel quite disappointed. In the same way that with Austria, I'm impressed with them this year because they've done so much better than Nathan Trent.
Yes.
I'm feel let down by Azerbaijan this year.
The reverse. Yeah, I think that's fair. Azerbaijan for a long time have had a pretty strong entry throughout Eurovision for the past decade or so. And this is, as you say, it's kind of middle of the roady dirgy. I didn't really like the chorus that much. As I said, I like the name of the song. I think it could still do quite well, though.
Oh, I don't know. Well, let's have a little listen to So I've spoken to friend of the podcast, another friend of the podcast. Everyone's a friend of this podcast.
Everyone's a friend.
Is the wonderful Stephen Cass. So Stephen is a Eurovision betting expert who works for the Racing Post where he lives over in Ireland.
Wow.
So I spoke to Stephen last week and interviewed him about some of his opinions on some of the songs. So the first one that we're going to listen to from Stephen is Azerbaijan.
Oh, X My Heart. This song is just a disgrace. And it's in semi-final 1. It's the song opener. Nobody's going to remember it. I think Azerbaijan are almost certain not to qualify. And you can basically double your money just backing them at the moment to do that. So.
Wow. Ooh, strong opinion there. See, now I'm thinking of, after all of this conversation, I'm thinking of adjusting my star rating because I gave them 3 originally because I just thought it's a song.
Oh, I gave them 1.
Wow. All right, I'm going to give them 2. I'm going to give them 2. 2 stars
so
from
fickle.
me. All right, let's move on. Now we're on to the B's, Isabel. The B's.
Next song, Belarus, which is Forever by Alexeyev. This is now the second rock song that we are discussing in this year's contest.
Yeah.
This one is not my kind of rock song. This is a little bit placebo-y for me, and I always hated placebo.
This for me, nothing. No feelings. I just wrote down Blur.
Good. Yeah, I gave it like, 2 out of 5. It's not the shittest, but
no.
So I think I've been kind with that.
Oh, so isn't Alexeyev the one that was in that controversy about the stealing the song or it already being a song? Is that right? Am I thinking of someone else?
I don't know about that.
I gave it 2 out of 5, and it is placed 20th in the odds. So again, not that likely to do particularly well.
Never mind. Moving on to Belgium. So Belgium's entry this year is by Senek, and it's called A Matter of Time.
It's weird how it seems like now every Eurovision has a Bond song.
I put this too. It's a poppy Bond theme.
I guess it's after Rise Like a Phoenix, isn't it? And you know that winner, and that's always been a hangover. But it was like Georgia last year. I think it was last year. Georgia had a Bond song. Yeah, that's it. And then this year it's another Bond song. I quite like it. It's like a sexy kind of chilled Bond thing. But it's just a weird musical choice. It's not like we hear that much pop music that are Bond songs other than Bond songs, and they're only released like once every 4 or 5 years. It's not much for me. I gave it 3.5 stars though.
3.5, you're such a nerd. I'm always really excited about Belgium's entries, and I think they are very much due a win at some point soon. I really like Belgium stuff. Last year we got the Glorious Blanche with City Lights, obviously. I think they are. I would not be surprised to see a Belgium winner within the next few years, because I think they do put through some solid songs. This one's I gave it 3 out of 5 as well. I said it was a poppy Bond theme tune. I think it's going to do perfectly well, but it was not going to win.
It's placed 13th in the odds, so, reasonably high up, but, there we go.
Next up is Bulgaria with Bones by Equinox. So Bulgaria, if you all remember, they came very close to winning last year with the lovely little lesbian-looking teenager, Christian Kostov, who said some odd things after the contest, but we'll move on from that. It's okay. I think the verses are a bit dull. I like when the chorus kicks in, but that's not enough to make a song. So I gave it 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I kind of don't get it. Like, I know people are quite big on this one. People think it's pretty good. There was a lot of hype around it when it was first came out, and I think that is because Bulgaria did so well last year. I don't get it. It's not a song I'm going to listen to outside of Eurovision. I gave it 2 stars.
Next up is Croatia, which I've spelt wrong on my sheet. So it says Croatia, which I think sounds like a fun country.
Croatia, yeah.
Croatia. So Croatia have entered Franca with the song Crazy. So if you remember last year, Croatia entered the now we know as the famous homophobe Jacques Hudek, who sang an opera duet with himself.
Yeah.
They're obviously taking it a bit more seriously this year. I don't think this has enough oomph in the song to do well, but I think it's perfectly fine. Apart from the bit where she starts talking. She starts talking.
So I have a note on my chart that is whether or not there is rap in the song, and unsurprisingly, there's very few that do. But I counted this as rap. I think it's fine. I like it better than the last song, Bones Equinox, myself. I gave it 3 stars. It might be because they're very pretty as well. That might.
I gave it 3 as well.
Yeah, it's placed 31st in the odds, which I think it deserves a little bit higher than that. But
same.
Yeah. Anyway,
never mind. Right now, we're getting to a fucking good one, mate. I'm really excited about this one.
Yes, we
Cyprus with Eleni Foreira. I don't know how you say her surname. Foreira.
No, yeah, like Ferrero Rocher, but with an at on the end.
Oh, and she is like a lovely little delicious chocolate you want to unwrap. So this is Fuego. So I think we should have a listen to Fuego.
You got me pelican, fly, 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 yeah. Cause I'm way up and I ain't coming down. You're taking me higher. Yeah. Cause I'm burning up and I ain't cooling down. Yeah, I got the fire.
I love this song. Oh my God.
I tell you what, I hadn't seen the music video before. That's quite something. She looks incredible in that video.
Isn't she a stunner? And the video is really funny as well, though, because it's really sexy. And then suddenly there'll just be like loads of pineapples.
Yeah. It's a great song. Cyprus have done themselves proud with this one.
Oh my God. Last year they had Hovig with Gravity, which was a solid Eurovision banger.
It was.
That was a solid song. This year they are in the running to win.
Absolutely agree with you. And I think that there's always the one that has the potential to be a massive summer like hit, and this is definitely that. Like the word Fuego, and it has a lot of kind of summertime Mediterranean sounding music in it. Really catchy hook. I love a song that's about hot and heat and stuff like that. I think that works really, really well.
It is Fuego. Like it is Fuego. It's on Fuego. It's on fire. The song is amazing. I think if this was, you could give this to Rihanna or Camila. What's her name? The one that was in Fifth Harmony that's now massive. Camila Cabral. Yeah. If you gave it to one of them, it'd be number one in America.
And
it'd be number one in the UK.
Especially at this time of year when it's just starting to get hot and people are kind of looking for their summer tune or whatever. I totally think that this has the potential to really kind of, excuse the pun, catch fire and, inspire people to vote for it. It is 6th place in the odds. So again, has a lot of chance to do very, very well here. I myself have given this 4 stars.
I gave it 5.
Oh, it's one of your faves.
I love it so much. I think it's top 3. If it's not, I'd be very surprised. I think this is going to go down an absolute storm with with the fan vote, with the audience vote.
And what we'll find out as we go through is that actually the ones that are upbeat and sort of fast paced and actually probably quite positive are weirdly this year the ones that are going to stand out more. There's a lot of slower, more emotional, more serious songs, and I really think that the people watching this year will be so relieved when like a song you can dance to is on, that those are the ones that are going to do really well this year.
Czech Republic. So this is Mikolas Joseph, Lie to Me. So we're going to start this by going back to our lovely Eurovision bookie expert, Stephen Cass, and listen to let's listen to what Stephen had to say about this.
Czech Republic. He's basically Justin Timberlake rip-off creep. In the year of Me Too, if they vote for this thing, I'd be disgusted. He's a horrible yoke.
Wow. Okay, so Stephen's not a fan.
No, and that makes me really fucking love Stephen because this is an absolute crock of shit of a song.
Oh no, Isobel, this is the first time this year that we are having to disagree fairly vehemently on this one.
What? Roland, you like this?
Yeah, of course I like this song. You know I like this song.
It's awful. The opening line is, she's a good girl at home, but her skirt goes up like Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, well, I haven't listened to the lyrics, have I? Oh, well, now I feel terrible.
He's creepy. He's a creepy guy. He's my creep guy this year. You know, like last year we thought that Spain was the creepy guy.
Yeah.
This year it's Mikolas. Like, he's a creep. He's a creep.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I can't like this one then.
You tell me what you thought. Tell me what you wrote down.
I wrote nothing about the lyrics. I did not write down, I really agree with the lyrics that he says. No, I didn't write that down. I said that it's super catchy and it's different. People love a brass instrument. People
love a brass instrument.
They do. Look at last year. I think,
but don't even dare compare this to Moldova.
The epic sax guy. No, I think it is very different. Yeah, he is Justin Bieber, but that doesn't mean that people aren't going to vote for him. That means that the tweens are going to vote for him.
I think I completely agree with Stephen though. I think in terms of the post Me Too era, no one wants this creepy shit. No one wants a creepy guy. No one wants this guy being like, when you've got these other there's some beautiful love songs in here. There's some really, in comparison, I think this is gonna stick out like a sore thumb in comparison, like not in a good way. Yes, there's brass, and yes, it's fun, and yes, it's one of the more, absolutely one of the more upbeat songs that are being entered this year, of the few that there are really upbeat. But I think that's not why it's going to stick out. I think it's going to stick out because everyone's going to go, ooh, Mikolas.
I think here's the narrative you write this year, whereas 2 years ago we had the Russia versus Ukraine right down to the final, and that was a good guy versus bad guy. How about this year? You have Netta versus Mikolas right down to the final two, and it's women's rights and feminism up against the old regime and patriarchy down to the final.
He just is the, like we said with Spain last year, and this is non-libelous, that we felt like he might be the sort of person who would grab a girl's bum in a bar and then be like, what you on about? Yeah. This guy, I feel like he would maybe be the sort of person who would go even further than that.
Yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't just be a bum grab.
No, he might.
Maybe it'd be a front bum grab.
Yeah, and maybe might see a young woman who has had too much to drink, and he might be the sort of person who thinks, I might take advantage of that.
He might be the sort of person who maybe would be like that.
In our opinion. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so you're right.
I gave it 0 out of 5.
Wow.
I hate it.
Well, if it was for the music alone, and if I wasn't taking into account the lyrics, I would have given it higher. But now he's been bumped down to a 2.5, which is still not great. I'm still reflecting on that. But sorry, maybe a 2. No. Make it a 2. It was a 4. I didn't listen to the lyrics. We'll move on.
4.
No, but we're gonna. Also, that is Isobel. Sorry to concern you. That is placing 5th in the odds right now. So
nah, fuck it. It's not gonna do well.
All right, let's move on.
I've got faith. I've got faith in my Eurovision brethren.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Okay.
The next two I could happily whiz through quite quickly.
Yeah.
Great. So the next one's Denmark. This is Rasmussen with the song Higher Ground. It's very dark. It's very Danish. It's not my thing. It's completely inoffensive, but I don't think it's very good. It's now the third rock song we're talking about.
Yeah.
And out of the 3, I think it's the worst one. I gave it 1 out of 5.
It's Vikings meets Eurovision. It's placing 18th. I gave it 3, but it was just very middle of the road. Doesn't really mean anything to me.
I don't think it'll do that well.
Well, let's move on, Isobel, because actually I don't necessarily think we should write off this next one so quick. So next up, this is Estonia, Elina Nekayeva with the song La Forza. I will caveat, I'm going to say it at the start, Isobel, this is currently placing 3rd in the odds right now. This is 3rd favourite.
You are shitting me.
Well, I think we should listen to a specific part of this song.
Okay. I don't know if I made it the whole way through the song.
Well, there we go, because I think what makes this song stand out is the very, very end. Let's just listen to the last 30 seconds of the song, and then we'll see where we stand.
Christ almighty.
She's got quite the pair of lungs on her, hasn't she?
Oh my goodness me.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I mean, I feel like I should eat my words a bit now, because I wrote down, I just put beautiful but dull, 2 out of 5. That's literally all I wrote. I didn't make it the whole way through because I got bored of it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to that bit. That's going to do really well with the jury.
Yeah, that will do really well with the jury, and we need to take that into account. I think it's fair, though, that you didn't listen to the whole thing, and I think that it's a problem if the people will switch off if they, if they're not into it, and then they won't hear that amazing end bit that's this crazy, crazy note that she can apparently hold. But vocally, that is incredibly strong. I mean, the strongest. That is the
oh my
the
God,
strongest
she's got I think the strongest vocals of anyone in the world ever.
Yeah.
That's
it will
insane.
stand out. It will stand out as well. No one really is doing that kind of operatic thing. There's a few kind of Balkan, kind of Eastern European singing, but not to that level. I think of all the ones that are more traditional and less kind of poppy or whatever, that is definitely the standout one. And so I think that will do well. I don't think it will win, but I think it will do very, very well.
Yeah, well, as do
stars.
I now. I think it'll do well now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got FYR Macedonia with Lost and Found by IQ.
So I want us to listen to this one as well, Isobel, not for the same reason why we listened to the last one, but maybe because of the opposite reason. Let me just send you this. So yeah, let's have a listen to this, and we can maybe figure out from that how we think they're going to do.
Have you ever thought about it? We went too far, now there's no way back, no way back. Have you ever thought about it? We went too far, now there's no way back, no way. I wish you trust your intuition and let the journey start. You're afraid that
Yeah. So this song really bugs me because the chorus is phenomenal.
The chorus is great.
It's
It's
so
so
good.
good.
They should have done that chorus and then built the rest of the song around it properly. But instead, they've done this weird mashup of genres. They've put in that odd reggae beat, which it starts with and comes in after the chorus and just ruins it. You don't put reggae in Eurovision because it doesn't
know that.
go well. It's just a very confusing track. But if they had made the song more like the chorus, it would have been phenomenal.
It has vibes from FYR Mace's entry last year, which was great. Just fucking reggae. Why did they do that? And it's such an uncomfortable shift to reggae. They do like this weird transition. It just doesn't work at all.
That's what it is. You're right. It's an uncomfortable shift. Like, not only have they put a reggae beat into a song that doesn't need a reggae beat, but they've put it in a weird way. So it's just like, dancey song, having a great time. Oh no, now we're back to. If you imagine this being put on in a club, when you think about trying to dance to this, you'd be absolutely going wild during the chorus.
Yeah.
And then you're just back to a kind of slow sway from side to side.
It's like horrible, like so weird. Yeah. Completely. They completely fucked it with that weird reggae thing. I don't know why they did it. I gave it 1.5 stars.
Oh, I gave it 2.
Wow.
And that's literally for the chorus alone.
Yeah, it's placing 34th in the odds, so it is not doing well.
Next up, we've got Finland with our always the competition bridesmaid, Sara Aalto, with the song Monsters.
Yeah.
I think this is a fun song. It's a good song.
Yeah.
But I do think that she's going to lose her second place crown this year. So as we've discussed before, we have done an episode on Sara Aalto.
We have.
If you want to have a listen back to that, we discussed in that where basically Sara has entered many competitions over the years, music competitions, both in Finland. I think maybe in Norway there was one as well. She's entered the UK X Factor. She comes second in every competition she enters. And she even makes a joke about it herself. Like, she's joked about it on social media recently. Like, she seems like she's a lot of fun. I think I was a bit shitty about her when we did the podcast initially. But I've since got to know Sara Aalto a bit better. Not actually.
No.
Just through the world of social media mainly. And I think she's very fun. I think she's very funny. She's silly. She doesn't take herself seriously. She seems to be a good egg. She's also quite recently come out, and I think that's going to...
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she's a big old lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for
So
her.
she's gonna do... I think she's gonna do... I don't think this should do as well as it's going to. I think it's great, and I'm fully there for Sara Aalto, but I think it's actually going to do quite well because of the fact that she actually has quite a big backing from across the world now.
Yeah.
So she's going to have votes from across Scandinavia because she's known across the whole way across Scandinavia. She's also a big name in the UK now as well due to her fame. Yeah, so I think this will actually do reasonably well. I gave it 4 out of 5. I think it's fun.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I wrote big catchy song. Sarah should be proud of what she's done. She's in Eurovision. She's made a good song. I wrote 3.5. Maybe that was a little bit mean, but it's placing 11th in the odds. So I would say a solid top 10 for this song.
Yeah, I would.
Potentially nearing like 5 mark, and I think she'd be happy with that herself.
I would really like for it to come second again.
Oh my god, it would be so amazing. Like, we should all like tactically vote to just make it second. But
no one give her the full points. Just give her enough so she gets second place, because that's she needs to stake that claim forever. So France, next up is France with Mercy by Madame Monsieur. So this is pipped as one of the favourites. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I can't actually remember the last time I really liked a French entry.
No.
It's a very similar message to Georgia's 2017 entry that we mentioned earlier, Keep the Faith, which I think was actually a way better song than this. But this, because of the message and for whatever reason, people think it's going to win.
I mean, it's same for me. I don't get it. I get the message. The message is obviously, a lovely message, and the whole backstory with the refugee. And we spoke about it a little bit last week about it was named after a child who was birthed on a refugee boat, which is obviously, an incredible story. But I don't get their whole thing. And the song, it's a nice sentiment, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make me feel anything.
No, me neither.
I gave it 3.5 because of the what it's about, but it doesn't do anything for me.
I'm heartless. I gave it 1.
Whoa! Wow, it is.
I really don't like it. When I spoke to Stephen, he loved it. He absolutely loved it, and he was, from the bookie side of things, was saying this is basically he thinks this is going to win.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's currently placing 4th in the odds that I was looking at. A Eurovision hosted in France would be fun, and I think that's good. But if we're looking at the songs we want to win it and the songs we think deserve to win it, I don't think that this is it in terms of musically. It's a cool message for it to have won and a cool message to send around the world, but I'd rather have, like you say, Georgia's from last year or a better song with the same message win it. Well, but there you go. Let's move on.
Great. So next up is Georgia with For You by by ethno jazz band Irio. I'm not into it at all. I think it's a big old mess of a song. I think last year's entry was so much better, and that didn't even do well. So I don't think this is going to do well either. I gave it 1 out of 5.
This is the song that is attempting to copy the song that won last year, but not doing very well at all with it. You never win by trying to copy a song. I gave it 1 star. It's currently 37th place in the odds, and I would say it deserves to be lower.
Good.
Done. Move on.
Next up is Germany with Michael Schult. You'll Let Me Walk Alone. The only thing I wrote down for this was boring with about 10 R's, and I gave it 1 out of 5. I don't like it at all.
It's a pretty song, but it's so restrained, and it's not going to be memorable in a year this year.
Not even just like not memorable, completely forgettable. When you compare it to other songs, every other song, I think completely forgettable.
Well, especially in a year, as we said, that is full of songs with nice sentiment and songs that are pretty or whatever. It's not going to stand out. It's currently 16th place in the odds, which is middle of the road. I think it'll do probably worse. I gave it 2 stars.
Next up is Greece with Yiana Terzi with Oniro Mu. This is fine. It's fine. Just that's all.
Nothing really
Absolutely
happens with
fine.
the song. Doesn't really impress vocally. It's just not like, it's fairly middle range kind of stuff. Again, I gave it 2.5 stars. It's 15th place in the odds, middle of the road, done. Forgettable.
Yeah, I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah.
Dead. Next up after that is Hungary with AWS with the song Vizlatnaya. So this is now the 4th rock entry this year. I think this is unheard of in Eurovision.
Interesting, yeah. Lots of guitars.
So much rock.
I mean, death metals or metal or whatever this is never does it for me, and I don't think that it's. I mean, other than Lordi, which, you know, was its own entire thing. I don't think a sort of straight rock or metal band are ever going to win Eurovision, and it's not for
it's
me.
not what the Eurovision crowd are looking for, really.
No.
I think it's the guy has a bit of a croaky start to it. The video that I watched, it then probably gets into it. Like, as a rock song, I'm into it. Again, I'd probably I've loved this when I was 13 years old.
Yeah, probably.
But it's not. You're not going to win Eurovision with a song like this.
No, Lordi were camp and dramatic and theatrical.
Exactly.
Like, that was what they were, and that was what won it for them. It's not the same thing. I gave this 1 star. It's not for me. I don't like it.
I gave it 2 out of 5. I quite liked it, but no, not for Eurovision.
It's 24th place in the odds. Not going to do well.
No.
This next one. This next one.
This next one. Okay, we'll see if we have a very different opinion on this one again now, because I'm worried.
No, don't worry.
Okay, so this is Iceland with Our Choice by Ari Olafsson. So, I struggle with Iceland sometimes because we know that for what is not a massive population, the Icelandics can and do create some absolutely slamming songs. They have some very talented musicians and singers coming out of that country.
It's built into their culture.
Oh, I still listen to, we both are still obsessed with the gorgeous Darty Freyja Peterson, which should have won Iceland's, been Iceland's entry
and would have done
last
so
year.
well. Yeah.
With Is This Love? It was so beautiful, so wonderful. This, however, is a big pile of poop.
Oh, I completely agree. I want to have a little listen to this one because I really want to hammer home how bad this is. Let's have a listen to this one here.
All have a choice we can make. There's always a choice we can make. To help and to heal in different ways. Too many are dying in vain. Together we could ease the pain. If somehow we could ease the pain.
No, I can't listen to any more of it.
You bailing out after like 10
really
seconds?
Bad. It's really bad.
This is like some of the worst lyric writing of a song that went actually to be recorded and got completed I've ever heard. It's like, why can't we treat each other well? Like, there's so many cliches in this song. It's unbelievable. It's like, we're one world. We should hold our hands together. We're all the same on the inside. It's like, fuck, just... Ugh, I hate it.
Good. Me too.
I gave it 0.5. I don't know why I gave it a 0.5. It's a song. It's music. It's 45th in the odds. Oh man, Iceland. I love you. I love Iceland, but do better, Iceland. Do
better. So next up, not going to get any more positively in the next song. It's really. Ireland with Ryan O'Shaughnessy and the song Together. So let's listen to the wonderful Stephen from the Racing Post is from Ireland. So let's have a listen to what Stephen thinks about Ireland entry.
Like, oh God, it's so embarrassing being on it. You just I go on my local radio station every year, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to qualify this year," and you're like, "No, sorry." And it's the same this year.
So Stephen, not a fan. And it is just another Louis Walsh toy boy he's put through. It's very boring. It won't get through the semis yet again. Year in, year out, we hear the same old crap from Ireland. I gave it 1 out of 5, and that's being generous.
I gave it 2 out of 5. Now, do you know about the whole Russia thing that's going on right now?
What? They're mental? What's
Well, yeah, in general. So Russia are apparently threatening to not broadcast the semi-final that Ireland... I like that they're already assuming that they're not going to make it through to the final. The semi-final that Ireland are performing in, or holding back the broadcast, not broadcasting it live, because Ryan himself is gay, but he has 2 male dancers, and it sort of features a gay couple in it, and they're threatening to not show it before. I don't even know when they're going to not show it or when they're going to show it, but because of that, because it apparently doesn't reflect their values of, I know, some fucking bullshit. But so that, I think that's why I gave it an extra star. So I gave it 2 stars. Because of that, yeah. And Ryan has actually been fairly vocal and was like, "Well, if Russia don't want to see it, then like fuck them." And so
good for Ryan then. But the song is still shit.
The song is bad, and it's 30th place in the odds.
So when I spoke to Stephen about this, he said that this has about a 25% chance of qualifying for the finals. He is not thinks that Ryan's future is bright at Eurovision.
No, yeah, that's fine. Let's move on. Let's move
on to the next song because it's great.
Move on.
So the next song is Israel with the wonderful Netta Barzilai and Toy. Oh my God. So anyone who listens regularly to the podcast will know my love for Israel already. I think they have such an interesting history in the contest.
Yep.
I always look forward to what their entry is going to be. And this, for me, is one of the best Eurovision songs ever.
Wow, that's really strong. I mean, I would definitely say it's one of Israel's best for sure. I would say after Dana, it's their best. It's a great song, a great message, really contemporary. The message and the music is really, really contemporary. The sort of person, Netta, is really compelling. She's someone who's really, really interesting. It's the perfect balance of all the elements you need to have a Eurovision winning song. Shall we have a listen? Just because it's great to listen to.
Yes, please.
Wonder Woman, don't you ever forget, you're divine and he's about to regret. He's a I'm not your toy, not your toy. You stupid boy, I'll take you down now, make you watch me answer with my dog.
Oh God, it's so fucking good.
And this just shows, like, I mean, you know, you can have a good song and you can have a good singer, but this song is like, this is Netta, this is who she is. The whole package is so complete and so good, and it's all on message. It's just great. I've given it 5 stars. It's first place in the odds. I think
I've given it 5 stars too. It was funny speaking to Stephen about this. So he was saying that he loves the song, absolutely loves it, but he said there are a lot of questions above Netta at the moment. So in terms of actually the final performance, he said there were questions in regards to what outfit she's going to wear. There's been some outfits recently at performances which are dubious, so not the best, and would probably not go down well with the jury for sure. There has been some questions with her vocals. So she has sang this twice at Eurovision events recently. One was absolutely amazing. She totally nailed it. One was terrible.
Yeah.
So
it's very technically complicated. So because if you listen to that, she uses a lot of overlaid vocals, and what she is doing on stage is she's actually looping those vocals live. Ed Sheeran uses that technique a lot, but she's looping those vocals live. I've done that a couple of times when I used to play guitar or whatever. And if you get one bit wrong, it it loops for the whole song. So you've got real potential, and there's a real risk to just fuck it up, and you fuck up one bit and it fucks the whole song up. Like you get a thing that's either like not in key or not on the beat or anything like that. It's a big risk, but for now, like I'm like good for her for taking that risk, and I'm backing that all the way.
Same here. It is my song to win. I literally wrote down the words "winner, winner, chicken dinner" in reference to the bakaring in the song. But it's interesting you say that with the about the looping. So again, one of the things that Stephen said, Eurovision expert that he is that the juries like to see consistency. So when they see a song when it is released beforehand, when it's during the obviously when you're in your own national finals, the songs can change before it gets entered into Eurovision, but in terms of the semis, the rehearsals, they want to see consistency coming through. So if she on the day messes with those, the loop doesn't work properly, or she sings something slightly differently, she uses different lyrics, and obviously she's saying quite like just random words for a lot of it. If that is different, vastly different from the semi-final performance, the juries will mark her down for that.
All right, let's move on.
Next up is Italy. Non mi avete fatto niente. You know, I've been learning Italian.
You bloody have. Good for you. That sounded amazing.
Thank you so much. I even know what it says.
What is bloody hell, Isobel? Wow, that's God. I'm super impressed.
So I've been learning all my I've been learning my Italian recently, and we've just got onto how to learn about if you're saying that you did something in the past. So up until now I've only learned how to say I want to do this, or I'm going to do this, or I have to do this, or I must do this in the future. We've done like past things. So non mi avete fatto niente basically means you didn't do anything for me. Like I had nothing from you, kind of thing.
Wow.
So it's like a
it meant nothing to me. You meant nothing.
Yeah,
to
you meant
me.
nothing to me, basically. By Ermal Meta and Fabrizio Moro. So I am learning Italian. I'm going to Sicily in a couple of weeks. I love Italy, but I don't like this song. I gave it 1 out of 5. I think it's
harsh. They've done the same thing as they did last year. They've entered a man with a gritty, rough voice, and I don't like it at all. I don't like it in any way, any sense whatsoever.
No, I mean it's not. I hated Occidentally Karma last year. I don't hate this. It's just not my thing.
I don't like how he sounds, to be honest. He's like, and it's just I don't like that. I gave it 2 stars. It's placing 9th in the odds, Isobel. It'll do well, and I don't know whether that's a hangover from Occidentally Karma last year, but it's doing pretty well so far. But I don't think it'll
believe
win.
it. Don't believe it. Sorry, Italy.
All right, don't believe it.
Mi dispiace, Italia.
I tell you what, it's super impressive, it's good for you for learning Italian, but sadly this year you're not going to be going to Italy next year for Eurovision.
I am not, but maybe if they win in a couple of years' time, I'll be fluent by then.
Oh my god, you could then go and present on Eurovision.
Oh my god, yes please. Next up is Latvia with Funny Girl by Laura Risotto. She has a lovely voice. It doesn't seem like a Latvian song, if that makes sense.
No, it just seems like a song. It seems
very Western.
Both those names, Laura Risotto, like it sounds like she should be Italian.
Is this a joke entry?
It's me, Laura Risotto. Hey. The instrumentation's quite good. It's not punchy enough. It needs to get, like some of these songs we always say, like it needs to go up another notch.
Yeah,
they need to turn it up a notch, and it never quite hits that like, if it had a third level to it, then it would be great. But it's not. I gave it 3 stars, which isn't bad actually. But
I gave it 3 as well. I think it's another Bond girl like esque song, like Bond theme esque song. But I think it'll get lost among the rest of the songs that are similar ilk. I also gave it 3. I think it's perfectly nice, but yeah.
It's 29th place in the odds. It's not going to win, but there you go.
Next up is Lithuania with When We're Old by Leva Zasimauskate. This is so bloody dull. It's going to get knocked out the semis straight away.
Oh, do you think so? Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
No, it probably will. It's another serious and complete, like, it's just like, I'm thinking, I'm very deep and sort of song. I just think there's so many of those this year. It's not going to get remembered, and even in the semi-final, it might be remembered in the semi-final. But I don't.
Do you know which semi it's in?
Yeah, it's in the first semi-final. It won't make it through.
There's absolutely no way it's going through. There's so many big, amazing songs in that first semi that unless you are one of the cream of the crop, you are not getting through to the final.
No, you're through. Which is why there's no way Ireland's getting through.
No chance.
God, I can't believe Netta, Azerbaijan, Belgium, Croatia, Czech Republic. Yeah,
really strong songs.
Sarah Alto. God, Sarah Alto as well. God, I think there'll be, in that first semi-final, there'll be a couple of shocks that will make people sad. There you go.
Yeah, never mind. Next up is Malta with Taboo by Christabel. I think this is a pretty standard Eurovision track. I don't think it's anything atrocious. I don't think it's anything exciting. Again, though, it's nothing new for Eurovision. Like,
I think it's a good concept, taboo, to talk about taboo and stuff like that, and what's, breaking taboos is like a really cool concept. This is me thinking from like writing a song idea, and the title Taboo is awesome.
Yeah.
It's placing 35th in the odds, which I don't think it deserves to be that low. It sounds like
no, I don't think it does either. But it's not gonna. I would be shocked if it got onto the top half of the board. If it gets through to the finals, I'd be shocked to see it on the left hand side of the board.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it doesn't, again, like we said with the other one, it doesn't quite have the punch to get, to feel like a proper club banger. It feels like it's nearly there, and it feels like you can dance to it in a club, but it's not quite. It is in the second semi-final, so it might have a chance to get through to the final, but even if it does, it's not going to do that well.
Yeah. Next up is Moldova with Doredos and My Lucky Day. So Moldova had very big shoes to fill after last year's genius of Hey Mama, and they absolutely haven't managed it.
Oh no!
No.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. They've tried to recreate it. They've tried to do something similar. There's a lot of brass in this song. There's a lot of cheesy kind of stuff. But I don't know. The great thing with Hey Mama was that they were aware of the cheesiness, right? They were aware of it. Whereas this one feels like they're not aware. I mean, the staging that they did for the national final was not good. Where the staging for Hey Mama was kind of cheesy and fun. The staging for this is serious and low budget and not good. It feels like it's going to fall apart. Unless they might have changed that by now.
Yeah, I think there's some fun dancing in it. It sounded the one I saw, because it wasn't a video, like the actual music video. It was a live performance. It sounded a bit flat in parts. So I don't know if this will get through the semis either. I like, there's a bit quite early on in the song though where he says you're holding information, but he does this he goes, you're holding information. I really liked that. But that's not going to get him through.
I gave it 3 because it was fun.
I gave it 2 because it's fine. Yeah.
Fun or fine?
Fun or fine. Next up is Montenegro with Inji, and sung by Vanja Radovanovic. So last year, as we're all aware, Montenegro were robbed of their place in the finals, with the glorious Slavko being knocked out in the semis, which was the biggest shock of Eurovision last year.
Yeah, it was.
This year they've gone a bit more low-key. I think bring Slavko back. Don't go low-key. Go fun. This is a bit rubbish.
I always think, like, if a country can develop an identity of sending fun stuff. Now, we've completely, like the UK, completely fucked that up in like the late noughties, early teens by sending shit. But if you can have an identity of sending fun, slightly edgy, slightly outside of the box kind of songs, then lean into that. And they were onto such a good thing with Slavko, and it does it really does them a lot of favors in terms of making people think that they're a fairly progressive country, sending someone like Slavko. And this song, I mean, I said 1 star, it is a song. That was what I wrote down. It's a song, 1 star. It means nothing to me. Whereas Slavko's song last year meant so much to me, and I got so much good feelings towards Montenegro, and now it's just nothing.
Yeah, same. So we also, one of the other people that I spoke to alongside Stephen is the wonderful, another friend of the podcast, Matt Baker, not from Blue Peter, who is an editor for ESC Extra, and a wonderful human being, and knows lots of backstage gossipy type things, which is always fun to have a drink with him and find out what's going on.
You pulled in all of the big shots over here.
Big names.
Got all the connections.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm making routes to Eurovision, man. Honestly. Honestly. So we're gonna have a listen to now about what Matt thinks of Montenegro.
I have very little to say about it. It's just doesn't do anything for me. I think it's a Balkan ballad, and I just think there have been so many much better Balkan ballads over the years. I just don't understand what people will grab onto. What will they vote for when they hear the song? The melody is forgettable, and that's not good for Eurovision.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally agree with that.
Completely agree. He said a great thing during that bit as well, where that's not in that audio, where he said something that I feel should be made into a Eurovision T-shirt, where he just went, you know what, I could just take or leave a Balkan ballad.
Well, you know what?
So Eurovision specific. I could take or leave a Balkan ballad.
I could take or leave a Balkan ballad. I wrote down in a thing. It's later on, but I'll bring it up now. I think the Balkan beat and the Balkan ballad are going well out of fashion with Eurovision. I mean, but I think for the last decade, you could have lent on a Balkan ballad and been assured at least a top half, maybe a top 10 finish. But it kind of feels lazy now, and a lot of the countries who just in the past would have just entered a Balkan ballad and gone, well, that'll do okay, suddenly will not do very well at all. I think they've gone out of fashion.
Yeah, right, never mind, move on.
Never mind.
Next up is the Netherlands with Waylon and Outlaw in 'em. So the Dutch, I think this may be one that we're going to have conflicting opinions on.
Yeah.
So the Dutch, I think, always seem to know what they're doing at Eurovision. So Eugene last year, I fucking loved that song. It makes me cry if I listen to it. I can't listen to it very often because I get a bit emotional about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And this is very left field for Eurovision, but I'm completely into it.
Wow, that's really interesting. I don't know. You're right. We do disagree on this because I always feel like there's always a country song in Eurovision, and generally it will come from the Scandi countries. Like, it's a weird mix where the Scandi countries kind of lean either into very kind of very well done pop or very kind of heavy guitar rock or country. And for me, country is it's never going to make any impression on me in any way whatsoever. And I don't think it will make an impression on the Eurovision audience, if I'm honest. Like, there will always be people in Europe who love country music, but it's not a big enough number to make any impression on the chart.
No, I agree with you. It's not a Eurovision song, but I think in terms of any recent country songs that have been entered, I think this is probably the best one.
You're right, and it has. So for me, like, I can't listen to country, and that may be because of a bad relationship I had in the past where she only listened to country. But it has like, I just can't listen to country. But it has kind of more Jack Whitey kind of vibes to it, which I like. I really like Jack White as a musician, and it leans into that kind of country. But for me, I can't be bought on it. I gave it 1.5 stars.
Oh, I gave it 3.
No, I mean, that's fine. We can occasionally disagree. It's 23rd in the odds. It's not going to win. It might make it to the final. We just don't know.
Never mind.
No, never mind.
Next up is Peter Pan and Pop Alexander Rybak for Norway with That's How You Write a Song. I don't care what all the haters say about this. I think this song's adorable. It's absolutely not going to win. No chance. And it should have been given, I think it should have been given to someone for a junior Eurovision entry.
It's a child's song.
It's a child's song, yeah. If it had been given for entered in junior Eurovision,
would have won.
Would have won.
Yeah, would have won. It's so cheesy, but again, as I've said, it may stand out because so many songs are so serious this year that having something that's just like light and fun and you can dance to and enjoy, I think it will stand out.
Yeah, good. Next one.
Hang on.
What?
Interestingly, Isobel, this is currently second place in the odds.
Shut your mouth.
I think it's got a lot to do with Rybak. I think it's got a lot to do with his weight as a Eurovision legend. But it's currently second place.
That's insane.
I wouldn't disregard it. I think it will probably do what Italy did last year and fall down the charts.
Yeah.
It might end up 8th, maybe 12th. But it's currently riding high in second place. I gave the song 3.
Who's he giving blowjobs to get it second place in the fucking bookies at the moment?
I gave the song I gave the song 3 stars, but I gave Alexander 5 because he's just great.
Oh, I gave it 3 stars too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next song I did not give 3 stars to. The next song is Poland with Light Me Up by Gromi featuring Lucas Major. All I wrote for this was forgettable. 1 out of 5.
I think a key part of this is the running order of Eurovision, of the night itself or of the semi-finals, because when I listened to this song it was bang slap in the middle of about 5 like ballads, and then this song came up and I was like, oh my god, it's fun, it's lively, you can dance to it, it should liven up the party a fair amount, and so it was kind of relief for me. I get that it's very middle of the road and it's very nothing, but I gave it 3.5 stars.
Oof.
I know.
I think that's very kind of you.
Very generous. It's 33rd in the odds, so again, not great. But at least they tried to do something that's fun.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Next up is Portugal, O Jardim by Claudia Pascual. So Portugal, I think this is perfectly fine. A little bit meh. I mean, they're lovely, lovely ladies. I'm very much into the brunette.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, they're not. Then they're not putting much up much of a fight to win it a second year in a row.
No, I don't think they want to really.
No.
The fact that this year they've gone on a budget and they're trying to desperately get everything in under that budget, I think that's fine. But you know, they've gone on a similar route. It's slightly jazzy, it's slightly chilled out, slightly not ballady, but just laid back kind of vibe. It's not going to do well, but they're very pretty voices, and it's a very pretty song, but it's not going to win.
No.
Up
next is Romania with Goodbye by The Humans. So, after changing the face of music as we all know it by mixing yodeling and rapping into the beautiful hybrid of joy that was Yodel It last year, this year's entry may as well be called Fucked It.
I just remembered why these episodes are my favourite episodes as well, because you get to be as judgy as you can possibly be, and it's not
me
about
and my
me.
element.
So
it's me and my element.
But it's not about a song I've written, so I'm fine with it.
No, it's so cheesy. There's absolutely the beginning of it. It's horrifying staging. Those horrible white masks that they have.
Yeah,
it's just bad. The whole thing is bad. It's really dated as a song. It's just embarrassing, and I'm a bit sad about it as well, because, you know, like you said earlier about, you know, you can be a country in Eurovision and you can start getting yourself known as putting through fun entries or something a bit silly or something a bit ridiculous or something really artsy or whatever. And Romania last year, we all fell in love with them so much, and I fell in love with Romania because of it, and I thought, God, that's genius. That's just genius that they put that through. And now with this year's song, I'm like, was it genius, or was it? I don't think they realised that was genius. That wasn't done as genius. That was done as like
an error.
Yeah, that was a blip in the matrix for Romania.
No, I agree with you. I gave it 1.5. I said boring song. It's 38th place in the odds. It's not going to do well. They won't make it. They won't make it to the final.
So when I spoke to Stephen about this was one that he put forward as an interesting one to note, because Romania have a very good record. Not just very good record. They have a 100% record of getting through the semi-finals. Okay. Yeah. And this is the year that Stephen believes they are going to break that record. They are out of the semis.
It's such a weird thing when you have such a strong record, and when, like you said, especially after a year when you've done so well with an entry. Like, the worst they could do is try and recreate the entry, or send the same band, or you know, send a similar song. But they just I don't know what happened there.
No, it's terrible.
It's not going to do well.
It's not the only one. So Azerbaijan was another one they've got a really strong record. Stephen doesn't think they're going to get through the semis this year. Romania is the next one, and actually along with that, up next, Russia. With I Won't Break by Julia Samoylova. So this is another one that they have a 100% record of getting through the semi-finals. I feel like we've talked about Julia a lot over the last year. We actually have some audio from both Matt and Stephen. Let's listen to what Stephen said about this.
The only thing about Russia, the really interesting thing from the betting side is maybe they won't qualify. Like, this song is so dull. I don't know how they're going to stage it. We all saw the video with the way that they had the wheelchair half disguised, and if they do that, people are just hating around Europe. The lyrics are really dull. Like, she seems nice again, but that's not enough. And even though they're in semi-final too, and it's really, really terrible, maybe Russia might not qualify. Although they'll qualify, won't they?
So Stephen's expert opinion is that from what he was saying, if this was in the first semi, probably wouldn't get through. Their 100% record would be broken because this is in the second. It's a little bit weaker, and they are Russia. They'll probably get through. It's not going to do well though, and this is as he mentioned. So I don't know if you know anything about this, Roland, but like in the video, she's at the top of a mountain.
She's a mountain.
She is a mountain.
She's not on the top of a mountain. She is
the mountain.
A mountain.
Yeah, and so as Stephen rightly said, liberal Eurovision-loving Europe isn't potentially going to like the fact that they have tried hiding her wheelchair. What it looks like is they're hiding her wheelchair. Yes. And when we talked about it on our phone call, Stephen said, but they're not going to be stupid enough. They won't be stupid enough to do that on the actual staging. They won't be stupid enough. And then he texted me the other day a photo and went, turns out they are stupid enough. Yeah. And the staging is her in a mountain.
But it's not even like a clever video projection or like they've done in the past. It's not even. They've built a mountain and they've built her into the mountain, which in their video, like I said to you a few weeks ago, I showed you it and I was shocked, genuinely shocked at the fact that they were like, oh, she's not in a wheelchair, she's just a mountain, and they've done it on stage, and I think that is. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think it's going to
go down well with people. I mean, we'll have a listen to now about what the wonderful Matt Baker of ESA Extra had to say about this, because he made some really good points about this.
She doesn't have to be a spokesperson for disability. She doesn't have to be that. It would be good maybe in, current climes that perhaps they went down that route, but it doesn't have to be. But the problem I have is that Russia did make it about a wheelchair user last year. Well, they wanted the news story to be Ukraine stop a disabled entrant from, following her dream at Eurovision. That was the narrative that Russia wanted last year. And so this year to hide the wheelchair in the way that they are, I don't know, it doesn't really sit right with me.
Oh God, that's so smart. My God,
so true, right?
Do you think we should just hand this podcast over to Stephen and Matt? Because they seem to know a lot more about it than we do.
Matt, interestingly enough, Matt is going to be at Eurovision and he is going to be doing some audio stuff there. He's going to be doing some podcasts and recordings and stuff there. So absolutely everyone follow. I'm sure you're all following ESC Extra anyway. Right. Obviously we are. But have a listen out for Matt Baker because he's going to be giving some updates live from the place. I think he's hit the nail on the head completely there. Last year they made this all about the fact that she was disabled and that she is in a wheelchair. This year you cannot then hide that fact.
No, it's completely bizarre. I mean the thing is, with Russia in this climate, you can't really say anything that they do is bizarre. But we know as Eurovision fans and as Europeans in general how important they find every single cultural or sports or whatever occasion. And so that this is kind of killing them a little bit, that they know that they're currently 27th place in the odds, which is very bad for a Russia performance. And they're kind of doing everything they can for a thing that they used last year as a tool to make people feel sympathy for them. They're suddenly in the shit because they've made promises and they've done whatever this year, and they're not going to do very well. I would, it doesn't deserve to make it through the semi-finals.
No.
Oh, next
up. Oh, San Marino. Oh dear. Oh. So next up is San Marino with Who We Are by Jessica featuring Jennifer Brennig. So this is an interesting one.
Can we listen to it, Isobel?
Let's definitely listen to some of it, and then I have some info about this that we can talk about.
And the love in our hearts will keep us strong. Listen up, it's me, Jenny B. What you get is what you see, and as for Jess over here, she's a special VIP. So you better listen carefully. If they're dissing you on Twitter, don't get sad, don't be better, don't give up and be a quitter. Show them you better. Hell no, if I say so, get in the car, rev it up and be a star, cause you know exactly who we are. Give it to them, Jess. We
All right, okay.
So I mean, immediately we can rule this out because there's rapping in it, and not only is there rapping, but there's rapping by a white girl. Like that's
White girl.
the worst kind of rapping in Eurovision. So.
And robots. Don't forget the robots. I feel like we should.
Robots.
And
Jessica's
the robots.
white jumpsuit is glorious and she looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But this is a very odd one. So obviously San Marino this year, well, as we know, San Marino, they never get through. They're always a bit shit. Last year was
one
phenomenal.
Time they got through.
Rhythm after night, rhythm
Yeah.
But they're ridiculous. We've talked about San Marino recently. They've got a very small pool of applicants for this. So this year they did something quite, what seemed initially as quite genius, which is that they opened that pool up and they put on this big competition. People could enter. You can put stuff through. Amazing. This could be a really savvy move for San Marino. Really smart thing for them to do. This is going to be great for Eurovision. So, have a listen to what Matt from ESC Extra has to say about the San Marino national competition, though.
There was a rule change, I think, and then there was a statement about the involvement of one of the judges, Zoe, from 2016. Zoe, who represented Austria, she wrote most of the songs that were in like the final of this selection process, 1 in 360. And she was also a judge, and people were saying, how can she be a judge, have financial investment in these songs? And it's a bit smelly. So they had to sort of remove her a bit from the process. And then artists were changing their names. Just slightly, just so it's, and then artists were teaming up. The reason why you've got Jessica featuring Jennifer Brenning is they were both in the selection process and sort of teamed up. Other artists in the selection process did the same thing. It was just a bit confusing, and I think, even from people, inside the Eurovision bubble, so those people that follow Eurovision all year round, religiously, we're looking at each other saying, what is going on? We don't understand what's going on here.
So it's just been a big old mess.
Oh, mate, San Marino can't do it right. They just can't figure out Eurovision. What happened?
Absolute disaster. Like, the whole thing was just a car crash from start to finish.
They were setting themselves up. You and I talked about it like, oh God, like we were talking about it almost a year ago. Like, not a year ago, but like 6 months ago, they'd set themselves up so well for this San Marino 365 thing where anyone could enter and whatever. And it's still
absolute disaster.
But I absolutely love them for still trying.
Oh, I love them for being ridiculous. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I love how flawed their system is, how they just can't figure it out. They don't understand how they can do it, but they're still trying.
God loves a trier, eh?
Yeah, for sure. So this song, just so you know, is currently absolute bottom in the odds, which I don't think it deserves to be absolute. But there's songs I hated way more than I hate this song.
There's definitely songs I hate, but probably that's because of the rapping.
I like the rapping. I like the rapping. I thought it was okay. The rapping wasn't bad. I don't know. Again, it depends on when you listen to it. I was all for all of this stuff. The chorus is not bad. I don't think the chorus is that bad, to be honest.
It's not getting through.
I'm so sad for San Marino. They need to get through at some point. They need to sort their system out. But you're right.
Bring Valentina back. That's what I say.
Stop. They need to move on from her. They need to solve their system. Ugh, San Marino, sort it out.
Right, let's blast through some of these ones now. So next up is Serbia, Nova Deka. It's by Sanja Ilk and Balkanica. So this song doesn't really get going until about a minute in, which is very odd. But once it does, I'm well into it.
This is the song that I wrote down that the Balkan beat may be falling out of favour with the
Eurovision
crowd.
Yeah, definitely.
I
think once that minute in, when it actually pumps into the song, the male singer, his parts of the song I'm really into. The girl stuff not so much. Like you said, I think the Balkan stuff is kind of fallen out of favour now, but I think it just takes too long to get where it's going. People are going to tune out. You're going to go to the toilet. You're not going to really listen to it. So the same thing as with the other one earlier, that potentially people aren't even going to hear the bit of the song that is actually quite good because they're just going to go, oh God, all right, I'll go make a cup of tea now.
I think that's what happened with me. I think I wrote down that I listened to The Woman and the Balkan Beat, and I wrote down it's dated, but I don't even know if I got to the guy singing part, to be honest.
That's fair enough. It's the first minute of 3 minutes is very boring.
I mean, that's a third of the song. If the third of the song is boring, then is it going to do well? I don't think so.
No, I gave it 2 out of 5.
I gave it 2.5. I don't know. Like, weird. I gave it more points, but I was more negative on it.
Fair enough.
It's 36th place in the odds. It's not going to do well.
That's where it's going to sit. Next up is Slovenia with Hvala Ne by Lea Sirk. This is such a bloody banger.
My God, I'm so glad you agree. Oh my God.
No, I would absolutely, on a night out, this came on, I'd be grinding up against any sexy girl or guy in the near vicinity. This song is fucking great.
So I completely agree with you. I think the rhythm is great, the kind of the beat, and it's like low down and dirty kind of vibe. The issue I have with it is for Eurovision or for a kind of broader audience, it should go into a further thing. It's very like, I don't know, it's very like dirty and low key. But if it broke into kind of like a full drum and bass bit, I think it would be way more popular. For some reason, Isabel, this song is second to last in the odds.
Whoa! What?
Yeah, 42nd place in the odds, and
That's
I totally
insane. Stephen didn't make any mention of this when I spoke to him. Like, it wasn't even because I asked him to talk about like the worst ones, the best ones, and the ones that had like kind of weird odds for their like previous Eurovision history. Slovenia wasn't talked about in that, so he would have raised that if he thought it was atrocious. I can't believe that. I think this is a great song. I gave it 4 out of 5.
I don't know if it'll. I gave it 3.5. I don't know if it'll make it through. I kind of think. I don't know. It does. It is kind of repetitive in the thing, but I don't think it's going to
win. I wouldn't even think it's going to be in the top 6. But I think it's a really fun song.
Wow, you're high on it. I question whether it'll qualify or not. I really like it, but I just don't know if it'll qualify or not.
Oh dear. All right.
Yeah.
Well, on to next one, which is Spain. Tui Canción, Amaya and Alfred. So Spain this year have gone down the Salvador route.
Yep. But they were so bad.
It's not great. I think they were when it first started. I was like, I mean, it's not, it's they're trying to recreate Portugal last year, but they've done a worse version of it. We had a better version last year and it won, so you can't really do that again. And then they stood up and then they hold hands, and I ruled it out completely. I was like, nope. Nope.
I hate that. And so the thing was about Salvador, and even when he did it, because he performed it with his sister before, and then he performed it with his sister on the stage, and it wasn't like, oh, we're so in love.
It wasn't cringy,
it was like,
no,
it was a brother and sister singing a song, and it was beautiful, but it wasn't cringy. But what Spain have done is they've taken a beautiful song, like beautiful composition. They've gone, I'm gonna touch your face real soft, and I'm gonna look into your eyes, and I'm gonna talk about love, and it's just like that is not why Salvador won last year. He didn't. It wasn't like everyone looked at him and went, oh yeah, I feel in love. It was an amazing song. Like the composition and the way he sung it was amazing, and they've kind of got it all wrong. They thought it was about love and being soft and gentle, and it's not about that at all. They got it all wrong.
Yeah, agree. Done.
1.5 from me.
I gave it initially a 2, and then I knocked it down to 1 because they held hands.
Yeah, good for you.
Next up is Sweden, Dance You Off by Benjamin Ingrosso. So this is a banging track. We talked about this after the Melody Festival final. It's a banging track. I love the staging. I think they need to give him a slightly better outfit. I'm not keen on the kind of dangly jacket thing. It could 100% be a Justin Timberlake song and would do very well on the charts.
Sure. But I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I'm absolutely it's fine. It's great.
So this is the Justin Bieber song that is good and is fine and is okay to like, the lyrics are fine and not misogynistic at all. It's about him getting over someone, him dancing someone off, basically.
Yeah, it's fab. And I think Sweden will always do well, and deservedly so, if they keep continuing to send entries like Benjamin and Robin Bengtsson through to the competition. It's a really strong song. It's Stephen. When I spoke to Stephen Cass about it, he was not that big a fan. He didn't think it was going to do that well. I gave it 4 out of 5. I think it's really great, and I really enjoy the staging. Stephen was not so much of a fan. He thought it was a bit of a, like he said, he thought it was a Justin Timberlake rip-off, and he thought it was a bit cringy watching it. But I think that's just personal preference more than Eurovision audience. I think the Eurovision audience is going to eat this up.
I totally agree with you, and I think obviously all of this stuff is our personal preference, so it's all going to be that. But I personally music I listen to is like Justin Timberlake and that sort of thing. And the thing that I think that wins this for me is the staging. I think the staging is completely unique. Like, you and I watched the staging at Melody Festival, and they're doing exactly the same thing, basically the same as they did last year with Robin Bexon. They just replicated it on stage. And I think it will be, if you're actually watching it, I think this will visually stand out from all the other songs as well as like the song. I think will, depending on where it's placed. If this is placed in between some ballads, I think this will do really well. And the visuals are just, I don't know, they're nothing I've ever seen. I'm a video producer, and I use cameras every day, but taking a live stage like that and turning it into something that looks almost exactly like a music video.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people may be against that because you're going, oh, well, what's the point of performing it live if it just looks like a music video? I don't know. I really like that concept. I think they do it really well. It's really clever. It's like watching an OKKO music video, when they were on the running machines, and it's all very clever and very timed very well. I'm really high on this song. I think if Netta can finish first and Benjamin Ingrosso can finish second, I'll be very happy with this. I gave it 4.5. It's currently eighth place in the odds, but I would want this to do very well.
Yeah,
one of my faves.
I gave it 4 out of 5. I think it's gonna come. I think it'll be top 5 for definite.
It's the song that I've listened to most from all of the kind of national finals. I've actually listened to this song in general live. I really love it. I think it's a great song.
Excellent. Next up is Switzerland with Stones by Zibs. So I'm really into this. Again, I think it could do really well in the UK charts. I don't think it will do very well with the jury vote because it's not a Eurovision song as such. But I gave it 4 out of 5. I'm really into it. I think it's really great. I think the vocals are really great. The song's really great. It has that, like we always whinge about, as we've said numerous times already in this episode, is when you need a song to get that extra oomph behind it. It has that oomph. They have it.
I was exactly the same. When I listened to this, I was ready to write it off because I was like, oh, it's another one. Like, exactly as you said, it's another one that doesn't quite go to that extra level. And then it went to that extra level. I was like, well, you know what? It's done that, and it sounds great. And I could dance this in a club, or I could dance this at a party or whatever. It's punchy. It is memorable. Again, in a field of ballads, it's very, very memorable. You know where it is in the odds? It's 32nd in the odds, Isabel.
Oh dear.
I know. I gave it 4 stars too. I really like it. Switzerland, not that known for their Eurovision hits. I really like this one.
Me too. Well, hopefully it does better than 32nd. Next up is Ukraine with Under the Ladder by Melavin. So I was bored of this as soon as it started, although I'm kind of obsessed with the guy's face. I really like his face.
I was confused with this because it sounded like his name was McLovin from Superbad. And so I was immediately distracted by this. I don't know. I quite like this song. I think it's fun. The chorus is good and the instrumentation is good.
It's funny with Ukraine though. If you look at their last 3 years, they don't go for any sort of theme with what they enter.
No, they're all over
obviously
the place,
they won 2 years ago with that very morose song that was beautifully haunting, and then last year they had that awful rock entry Time.
Oh god,
that was terrible. And then this they're just all over the place in terms of what they enter.
At least this one's kind of poppy and fun, and it sounds like something you can dance to. Again, it doesn't quite take it all the way. If it took it to an extra level, then that's kind of what would make it a potential top 10, top 5 or whatever, but it's not quite there. It's middling for me. I gave it 3.5 stars.
I gave it 2.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's 19th place in the odds, so it's fine. It's just fine.
I don't know if it'll do that well. Last up is the wonderful United Kingdom with Storm
it's
by
us.
Suri. So I have audio from both Stephen and Matt to play for this
I'm
because
very
they are
interested in hearing that.
very interesting opinions from both of them. So we're going to start off with listening to Stephen.
Doesn't even stand out amongst the upbeat female acts, I think. Fuego is probably a better song for Cyprus, and I think Monsters for Finland is probably a better song. I just think she'll be forgotten. I think probably bottom 5 again for UK.
Ooh, bottom 5.
So as Stephen said, he thinks this is going to do okay with the jury, not so good overall. So it's not going to do very well for us in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But let's now have a listen to what Matt, who, as I said, Matt has all the insider info about Eurovision. Let's have a listen to what the wonderful Matt Baker, not of Blue Peter, had to say about this.
The song is a bit middle of the road. I think it went through a revamp before going to Eurovision, and I think it improved slightly. But it is a bit middle of the road. But the whole story for me this year is about Suri herself. She is, if they offered like a Miss Congeniality contest at Eurovision, she 100% has won it. She's extremely likable. She is hilarious on social media. She doesn't take things seriously. She's there. She's representing, and she's a great ambassador for the country. She's beautiful and lovely, and I just absolutely love her. And I don't care if the UK come last place with 0 points. She has been brilliant. I love her. I absolutely love her.
So there you go. So from speaking to Matt about this, that is 40 seconds of what was actually about 5 minutes of him talking about Suri non-stop. So Suri, as we know, Suri has been involved in Eurovision in the past. She was involved with Blanche. She was involved with Loic. She has Eurovision clout behind her. And so because of that, not only does she know the competition, she understands the competition, she understands how it works, but she also knows a lot of people that are involved in it. So she knows how to play the game, apparently, in terms of PR, in terms of when she's sat inside of, doing press stuff, when she's working alongside other people. She's friends with everyone who's involved. She helps them out. She's very fun and bubbly and, just apparently a complete and utter sweetheart. And although we were, after You Decide, I was a bit down on Suri. It was the best song of the night. It was the best performance of the night. But I don't particularly like the song. But as Matt said, he doesn't like the song either. Yeah. And actually, she probably should have been put forward with a better track. But we should, this year, I agree with Matt, we should be very proud of who we have entered into the Eurovision Song Contest, because she is representing the UK in the absolute best way possible. She's nailing it.
We're in a really funny place in the UK right now where, last year it was a very well considered song, and the ballad and everything like that was we were all behind it, but maybe she didn't necessarily know how to play the Eurovision audience and live up to that kind of marketing and stuff like that. Whereas absolutely, I would agree with you. This year, Suri knows how to play to the PR and play to the journalists and play to the crowd and everything like that. She knows the gigs she needs to perform at, the concerts she needs to do. But the song just isn't there. And I think for the next few years, we'll be in that place where we'll be middling. I think last year, we were just below the kind of halfway mark, and that's okay. I'm okay with that for the time being. Like, we have a lot of I'm like making up to do for the last decade of shit that we've sent Eurovision's way, and so I'm more than happy to send people like Suri who are so enthusiastic about Eurovision and so committed, and they're not like, oh, this is just a silly thing that I'm going to do. They're like, this is the biggest stage you can perform on ever.
I think, like you said, she's got we as a country, as a nation, have a long journey ahead of us at the Eurovision Song Contest, but if this is the start of it, I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yep,
really
I agree.
Great. Right, that's all the countries. We've done them all.
We did all of them.
So it took a bloody long time. This is all a mini. This is probably going to be longer than the actual episode on Thursday, because we're going to have to record that now.
Megaphoria.
And I've only got about half an hour left. But if you agree with us, even better, if you disagree with what we've said, please do get in touch. You can contact us via email at europhoriapodcast@gmail.com.
Or give us a tweet at EuphoriaCast, and we're always looking at those things. We bloody love it when you tweet at us.
Excellent stuff. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the semi-finals. So, love you, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.